Good evening and welcome to Kini News. Over the past few weeks, the topic of Parliament reconvening has been brought up again and again by several politicians. Today, the government has finally responded and announced a date for a special sitting of the Dewan Rakyat.
The government will advise the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to reconvene Parliament for 5 days for the Dewan Rakyat from July 26, followed by a 3-day sitting for the Dewan Negara from August 3rd until August 5th. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office said the special sitting aims to explain the National Recovery Plan to the MPs and amend the laws and rules necessary for a hybrid session of Parliament. They added that it would follow the standard operating procedures that will be set by the National Security Council and the Health Ministry. The announcement came as Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin faces growing pressure to bring forward his original timeline to open Parliament in September or October. Previously, UMNO had given the government a 14 days notice, which expires today, to urgently reconvene Parliament. UMNO President Ahmad Zaid Hamidi said failure to do so would be viewed as insolence towards the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's decree and disrespect for the Conference of Rulers. In June, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong had also reiterated that Parliament should be reconvened as soon as possible, following an audience with the speakers and deputy speakers of the two houses of Parliament. The Agong said that all parliamentary select committees should continue meeting to provide check and balance. Parliament has been suspended since the emergency came into force on January 11th. The emergency is due to end on August 1st, subject to the advice by the independent committee on whether it can be lifted earlier.
There is also some news from the Prime Minister, but before that, Malaysia needs a free press more than ever, and being an independent news outlet can be tough. That is why we need your help to help us continue to do what we do. Check the description below to find out how you can contribute and also to get your name in that ticker next month. All of you down there, you've been our gracious supporters for the month of June, and you can have your name down there as well for the month of July when you become a contributor. Now, on to the Prime Minister. The PM chaired a National Security Council meeting from the hospital today, where he shared some news on the National Recovery Plan.
Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin chaired a National Security Council meeting virtually from the hospital today. Muhyiddin has been hospitalized since June 30th, initially with symptoms of diarrhea, which was later revealed to be an infection of the digestive system. In a Facebook post, he said there were several states that had shown progress in the fight against COVID-19 and could soon join the 5 states which will enter Phase 2 of the National Recovery Plan, or NRP, today. He added that he hoped the situation in the country will be under control and more people will be vaccinated in the near future, with the arrival of more vaccines this month. Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Perak and Perlis will enter Phase 2 of the NRP today. On Saturday, Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob and Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz said these 5 states have met the various thresholds to enter Phase 2. This is in terms of a 7-day average of COVID-19 cases, ICU capacity and vaccination rates. They said the thresholds are set based on the state's population. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry reported 6,387 new COVID-19 cases today, with the Klang Valley making up more than half of the fresh infections. Selangor reported 2,610 new cases and Kuala Lumpur had 819. This was followed by Negeri Sembilan with 523 new cases and Sarawak with 424.
UMNO Supreme Council member Muhammad Razlan Rafi said that he is praying for the Prime Minister's health.
UMNO Supreme Council member Muhammad Razlan Rafi said that he is praying for Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin's recovery. He also added that he hoped Muhyiddin will hand over power to UMNO. In a post on Facebook, he said Muhyiddin should hold proper discussions for the sustainability of the people and the country, and be a statesman who will be remembered by the people in the future. His post came following a statement on Muhyiddin's health by the Prime Minister's office yesterday. Muhyiddin had been hospitalized since June 30th, initially with symptoms of diarrhea, which was later revealed to be an infection of the digestive system. The PMO said that Muhyiddin is in the midst of receiving treatment and is expected to be allowed out of the hospital in a few more days. In his statement, Razlan said the Perikatan National Government had failed by not addressing the people's needs while acting in an authoritarian manner. He said, this has dragged UMNO into Muhyiddin's failure and made the party a punching bag to distract from the main issue. He added that the fundamental issue was that the rulers are worried about how the people have struggled despite the PN government having been given full power to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. And the rulers also wanted good checks and balances by calling for Parliament to be reconvened as soon as possible. He said many had deliberately forgot and diverted attention from the main issues, and for the grassroots in UMNO, it would be best for them to focus on the ruler's degree. He stressed that it was the party's long-time duty to protect the Malay rulers.
Health Ministry Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah has highlighted the shortage of beds at hospitals and announced that efforts are being made to improve bed capacity.
Many critical non-COVID-19 patients have to wait to get a bed in the intensive care unit or ICUs of hospitals as they are congested with COVID-19 patients. However, according to Health Ministry Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, efforts are being made to improve hospital bed capacity. At present, there are 1,224 COVID-19 patients that are in the ICUs. He added that 567 of these were in the Klang Valley. In an effort to resolve the problem, Noor Hisham said Kuala Lumpur Hospital will be outsourcing non-COVID-19 patients to private hospitals. This is to increase the hospital's capacity to treat Category 4 and Category 5 COVID-19 patients who are currently being treated at Malaysia Agro Exposition Park Sedang, or MAPES. Furthermore, Ampang Hospital will also be converted into a full COVID-19 hospital similar to the Sungai Buloh Hospital. In total, there will be 17 government hospitals dedicated to treating COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, the Association of Private Hospitals Malaysia, or APHM, confirmed that the Health Ministry had requested help due to the worsening situation in public hospitals. APHM President Dr. Kuljit Singh said its members are ready to assist. He said most of the private hospital groups and some standalone hospitals have agreed to supply trained staff nurse to the government to assist in managing COVID-19 patients in selected public hospitals in the Klang Valley. Assistance from other medical personnel will be considered in later stages, he added.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
Malaysia today received 1 million doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, which was contributed by the United States.
Malaysia received 1 million doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine today. This was part of a commitment by the United States to assist with recovery efforts worldwide. The consignment was flown in by a cargo aircraft TH384 belonging to Raya Airways, which landed at the Sultan Abdul Aziz Shah Airport in Subang at 8:10 a.m. Coordinating Minister for the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, Khairi Jamaluddin, Foreign Minister Hishamuddin Hussein and US Ambassador to Malaysia, Brian McFeeters were present at the airport for its arrival. In a joint press conference, McFeeters said the contribution is a reflection of the partnership between Malaysia and the US.
The US is committed to working with the Malaysian government to support its ongoing implementation of Malaysia's national COVID-19 immunization program, which Minister Khairi leads, to increase vaccine coverage and to achieve its target for recovery. This vaccine allocation is part of the Biden administration's promise to provide 80 million vaccines over the summer to various countries.
Meanwhile, Khairi expressed Malaysia's appreciation to the US government for its contribution. He said Malaysia hoped to continue working with the US and other countries to secure access to more vaccines.
Just for the record, with the contribution of slightly over 1 million vaccine doses today, the amount of Pfizer vaccines that we've received to date will be 6.435 million. That's 5.434 million that we've purchased on our own, and of course the 1 million doses that we just received today from the United States.
The vaccine supply is the second contribution from a foreign country. Last Thursday, Malaysia received 1 million doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine from the Japanese government.
18 durian farmers in Raut Pahang who were held overnight allegedly for trespassing have been remanded for 2 days.
18 durian farmers in Raut Pahang, who were detained allegedly for trespassing on government land, have been remanded for 2 days. The 18 individuals had been detained by police yesterday amid the continued tussle between durian farmers and the state authorities. They were brought to the Raut Magistrates Court at around 10:45 this morning. The latest round of the flare-up started when the durian farmers tried to harvest their produce on the disputed land but were blocked by the Forestry Department and police. The farmers had maintained that they had a right to enter the land as they had obtained a stay against their eviction from the Court of Appeal. However, according to the Save Musang King Alliance, which comprises durian farmers in the legal dispute, the farmers were not allowed onto the land, leading to a standoff. Trust Assembly person Chow Yu Hui, who was with the group, had also been detained by the police. He was detained under Section 186 of the Penal Code for obstruction of a public servant in the discharge of his functions. Chow was later released on bail, but the durian farmers were held overnight. The DAP lawmaker had accompanied the durian farmers to the disputed land that is part of the legal tussle between the cultivators and the state government. The state government had accused the cultivators of illegal farming and is trying to evict them as it had leased the land to a firm that is planning its own durian cultivation.
That's a wrap for us today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest headlines as well. If you'd like to support the independent media, do consider a subscription to malaysiakini.com. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, please try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.